presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources.
Washington Post World, August 21, 12:04 America, New York. Hurricane Grace closes on Mexico's Gulf Coast as Cat 3 storm. Hurricane Grace is closing in on Mexico's Gulf as a major Category 3 storm, drenching small fishing towns and beach resorts as it heads for its second landfall in the country in 2 days.
ABC News International, August 21, 11:38 America, New York. EU warns Taliban it has not recognized their regime. The European Union's top officials have warned the Taliban that current conversations being held to secure the departures of as many Afghan evacuees as possible do not mean the 27-nation bloc is prepared to recognize the new regime.
New York Times World News, August 21, 11:16 America, New York. Taliban leader Baradar returns to Kabul aiming to form government. The leader, Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, is beginning talks with former President Hamid Karzai and other politicians. Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, Center, in March in Moscow. RT World News, August 21, 11:13 America, New York. Teaching in the middle of a pandemic is hard. Jamaican teachers' conference on Zoom turns into 18+ live sex broadcast. Professional hardships became a highlight at a Jamaica teachers' conference, as one of its members was caught getting intimate with a partner while her colleague was talking about necessary connections during a public Zoom call. RT World News, August 21, 11:12 America, New York. Over 200 arrested. At least 7 police injured amid chaotic COVID-19 protests in Australia. Videos. Thousands of people hit the streets of Australia's largest cities on Saturday, defying coronavirus lockdowns. The protest got particularly chaotic in Melbourne, devolving into clashes between anti-lockdown marchers and police. New York Times World News, August 21, 11:06 America, New York. Protests against COVID restrictions turned violent in Melbourne, Australia. The police said it was the first time officers had been forced to use a range of non-lethal options to disperse anti-lockdown protesters in Melbourne. Police officers used pepper spray against demonstrators in Melbourne, Australia, on Saturday. RT World News, August 21, 11:06 America, New York. OnlyFans bans sex, masturbation and offensive exhibition of genitals under new rules. Fresh from alienating many in its user base by banning sexually explicit content, OnlyFans has revealed what will and won't be allowed on its platform. Fans of amateur porn should brace for disappointment.
Wall Street Journal World News, August 21, 10:54 America, New York. Former Afghan President Karzai angles for national role. With President Ashraf Ghani having fled the country following the Taliban's takeover, his predecessor has sought to cast himself as a leader of the people.
Mirror World News, August 21, 10:48 America, New York. Taliban death squads, carrying out door-to-door searches and executing enemies. The group has claimed it would not carry out revenge killings, but human rights groups say evidence is mounting that people are being targeted after the Taliban seized power.
Wall Street Journal World News, August 21, 10:45 America, New York. U.S. banks tread carefully in Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. 2 major U.S. money transfer services have suspended payments into Afghanistan, and American banks are more closely scrutinizing transactions with Afghan counterparts.
Fox World News, August 21, 10:09 America, New York. Elite Taliban unit wearing U.S. gear appears to mock iconic American World War II photo. A Taliban fighting unit called the Badri 313 Battalion was spotted patrolling parts of Kabul with U.S.-made weapons, and posting one photo appearing to mock the iconic World War II photo, raising the flag on Iwo Jima.
World CBS News, com. August 21, 10:01 America, New York. In U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, Russia sees an opening. The Kremlin sees the Taliban takeover in Afghanistan as a chance to increase its power in the region. But as Russia's own history shows, that carries risks.
New York Times World News, August 21, 10 o'clock America, New York. The struggle to save a house of music, and its legacy. For decades, The Tangier home of Abdallah El Gourd has been a wellspring of the Nawa musical tradition and a place of pilgrimage for jazz performers. But it has fallen into deep disrepair. Abdallah El Gourd, third from right, performing traditional Nawa music in Tangier. RT World News. August 21. 9:56 America, New York. Taliban fighters killed and captured after Afghan militias seized 3 districts just north of Kabul, reports. Anti-Taliban forces have reportedly captured 3 northern districts in Afghanistan just days after the militant group seized Kabul and re-established its so-called Islamic Emirate.
CNN.com World. August 21. 9:54 America, New York. Greece finishes wall on border with Turkey, amid fears of Afghan migrant crisis. Greece has finished building a 40-kilometer, 25-mile, wall along its border with Turkey, amid concerns in parts of Europe that the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan could cause an influx of people seeking asylum.
World CBS News, com. August 21. 9:46 America, New York. China allows couple's third child amid demographic crisis. The rules were last changed in 2015 to allow families 2 children amid fears the plummeting birth rate will lead to an aging population and economic consequences.
CNN.com World. August 21. 9:32 America, New York. Cristiano Ronaldo has told me that he's staying, says Juventus coach Massimiliano Allegri. Cristiano Ronaldo has never wanted to leave Juventus, according to the club's coach Massimiliano Allegri.
World CBS News, com. August 21. 9:16 America, New York. The cost of the 20-year war in Afghanistan. In nearly 20 years of fighting in Afghanistan, more than 2,400 American service members lost their lives and cost American taxpayers about $1 trillion. Those costs are the results of 2 decades of decision-making in Washington. Decisions that could have changed the outcome of the war and the future.
Fox World News. August 21. 9 o'clock America, New York. Taliban allegedly sets a woman on fire for bad cooking. Taliban fighters allegedly set a woman on fire for bad cooking, as other women in Afghanistan go into hiding and reportedly face being used as sex slaves.
New York Times World News. August 21. 9 o'clock America, New York. A century after the Titanic sank, a film tries to rescue 6 survivors' stories. The Six, a new documentary, attempts to track down the fate of Chinese sailors who survived the Titanic but were scattered by Western immigration laws. The White Star liner Titanic, at sea, in 1912.